You've got to give Mattel credit. When they start a new expanded universe series, they don't just dip their toes in the water. They go all out with releases not only in the 155 scale diecast mainline, but we also get mini racers, play sets, large scale plastic vehicles, and obviously color changers, which we'll be reviewing today. Now, if you compare this to last year's expanded universe line in the GRCs, it kind of comes out to the same in terms of overall volume. The amount of diecast in the main line is about the same. Now, the GRCs had way more mini racers, at least at this point in time, because they debuted with that 10-pack. But at this point in time, they really had zero color changers. The GRC McQueen wasn't out at this point yet last year, and we already have 4 Race and Rescue color changers. And then in terms of the play sets and the plastic vehicle, it's about the same. So it's pretty crazy. They're committed, right? Even if we may not like it, even if it's controversial, Mattel is committed to giving us a lot of stuff for Race and Rescue / Rally Race. Yes, there is a Race and Rescue Sarge and Rally Race McQueen color changers coming in the future in 2026, but this here will conclude all of the 2025 color changers. Now, these come in 2 separate cases, which is why this video seems a little disjointed off of my case unboxing where I showed you guys and I unboxed Meijer, McQueen, and Sheriff. Those 3 are in one case, and then red comes in the following case. Like, why couldn't we just get all 4 at once? I have no idea. Mattel's got to trickle them out to us here a little bit. At least they debuted with 3, which is way more color changers in a new case than we've gotten over the last year, and then some with 1 GRC McQueen in the case. Then you had GRC Francesco also debut solo dolo. But yeah, I'm pretty happy about this. I'm pretty excited. This is the first time red has ever been released as a color changer, and that's probably the best reason for, Race and Rescue. The best argument it has to be included in the color changers line, because at the end of the day, all these are just repaints, or are they? McQueen and Meijer have some extra doodads and obviously different structures than we're used to out of their typical, color changers releases that you see on the peg. So this is an interesting video. I'm very excited to get into it all. I have mixed thoughts so far. We're going to see how well they function in the water. That's the most important thing. Now, red here is brand spanking new. I actually got one off Mercari from a friend, really good deal. And then I actually just found one today. Speak of the devil, found one at Target today. But I don't think too many people have found this guy yet. So if you find him, pick him up if you want him. I mean, he's going to be one of the rare color changers. I mean, it's red. Like I said, it's a yellow red. It's yellow, as a lot of people are joking. I hope you got that joke. But yes, Amarillo instead of Rojo. And like I said, a lot of the new color changers these days are just repaints. So to get a new color, or not a new color, a new character is pretty monumental. I mean, what was the last new character we got? Jeff Gorvette. Pretty wild. Royce Revsley, Jeff Gorvette. But yeah, I like the name tags that they're doing on these with the yellow stripe and the sparks. You do have the yellow and red half and half there. Perfect color, I'd say, to have red transition from just his normal paint job to the yellow, which looks really cool. We already know it works because, yeah, I mean, he looks fantastic in his yellow color shade here. So they're not lying to you on the card back, which is the plus of sometimes finding these color changers in their already converted state. It's very strange. Sometimes I'll see a color changer like in its cold state in the package at a store, and then I'll flick through the pegs and then there's one in the warm state. How does that happen? I don't know. It must be something about the shading or the shadows within the stores on the pegs. I'm not a scientist. Anyways, here is Lightning McQueen. Like I said, this is a retooling because he's got the light bar there now. Fortunately, they actually gave him the light bar because if we remember with Cryptid Buster McQueen, they're like, you know what? Roof rack, who needs that? Just give him regular Lightning McQueen with a camo paint job. So that was kind of lame in my opinion. This one's a little bit more legitimate. This is going to be your most common of the 4, just ahead of Sheriff, who was also proven to be a little common. Meijer's been pretty rare for me. You do have the Race and Rescue logo there on the card, which is nice. They're doing that with the minis, with the 155 scale. If it's a part of the series, they're making sure you're aware of it if you can't already tell. But I do appreciate that because they obviously don't change it on the name tag. On the back here, you have the stock images, which we talked about in the unboxing of these color changers. I don't remember the case letter. Maybe it was case D or something. I don't know. That's just a guess. That's just a feel. But I really do like how McQueen looks here in the blue. I've seen a couple of them. He looks a little darker. This blue seems a little bit more vibrant, but we'll see how he looks in person. The red here looks pretty bright, a little brighter than what we're actually getting, but that's okay. We're expected, I'm expecting the color changers not to quite match the stock images on the back, as they usually don't. At least not to a T. Here we have Sheriff. I could have predicted which ones they were going to do as color changers. Mattel loves releasing Sheriff and Meijer and obviously McQueen as color changers. They've done so many variants of those characters over the years. I mean, just over the last 5 years since the color changers came back in 2020, Sheriff's already gotten, this is his 3rd variation. That's absurd. I think this is like Meijer's 4th or 5th. You got to count that road trip one. You got to count President Meijer and the 2 brand new Meijer. Yeah, I mean, it's this 5th version. That's absolutely ridiculous for Sheriff. Pedestrian numbers being his 3rd, but he really does look like a video game paint job from 2008 or 9, and I appreciate that. That's probably the saving grace of Sheriff in particular here. I'm not a big fan of his shift. I wish they went with something more exotic, like, all right, black, yep, we get it, to an army, beigey, snot, mustard, green. Would have preferred something exotic. I mean, they have given us a Sheriff that goes to light blue and red and dark blue back in the day. So maybe like a yellow Sheriff would actually be pretty fire. No pun intended. And yeah, here you have Meijer, who, like I said, is proven to be pretty rare. I've only seen a handful of him, despite him being at the same quantity as the other 2 in that case. But yeah, they're just using the brand new Meijer artwork, which you can kind of see is the inspiration for the color shift here. He goes from his red, the normal red, to the brand new Meijer teal. Looks pretty good. Another one where he's in his warm color already, so we get an idea of what he looks like. And yeah, I think it looks pretty good. Maybe a little too light. Wish it had a little bit more concentrated teal turquoise action. But yeah, I think it looks really solid. And I'll be right back with all these opened up. Here is the Squidillion out of the packaging, looking really good. Now, I know the question everyone is asking, what scale, what size is Red? Is he the original 2006 size? Is he the deluxe size from 2011 to literally just a couple months ago when they downscaled him into the singles line for the Race and Rescue series, which is an in-between scale? We'll take a look at that in just a moment here, but we're going to start with Lightning McQueen, who now, within the Race and Rescue subgenre, already has quite a few versions. You have the playset dirt track version, which is pretty underrated, pretty cool. I like the expression on that one. And now you have the color changer version in addition to the die cast. So, the expression is a little bit different. I think the smile is a little more genuine and not as intense looking. And the way they achieve that is by not making the eyelid dip down in between his eyes so much. It's a very subtle difference, but I like it. I like the expression better than the 155 scale version, which is pretty crazy. As I was alluding to before, though, it's not a pure red. It's not honestly, red at all. It's kind of like a muddled plum maroon. It's not a great shade of red, and Mattel has struggled with this with some of the color changer McQueens, especially when they go from such a drastically different color. Obviously, this Rust-eze Racing Center, now this is the Fabulous Lightning McQueen color changer, had some issues with it because he goes from blue to red, but ones that go from like red to yellow, like the Rumbler Lightning McQueen, it's a much brighter shade of red. So I understand the technology behind it. Like sometimes you just can't go from two extremes on the color spectrum. I get it, but yeah, this red just doesn't look that good to me. Let's see how they did with the decals, though. I think they look pretty good. They might even be clearer than the die cast. Radiator Springs Race and Rescue. Still don't know what it is. Was the book released in like 3 days? Wow, I'm so excited. No, I'm not. I just want to get some answers, guys. Like, why does Sally have a rack of cones on her roof? Who invited Morgan Martins and Adam Rodriguez? Why is McQueen racing and rescuing seemingly simultaneously? I have questions. Anyways, getting back to the review here. Everything on the side is as you would expect it to be when you go from die-cast to plastic on the color changer. I do like the vibrancy of that yellow wheel back there. That looks really good. Better than the 155 scale, in my opinion. Pretty crazy that you get... Oh, that decal's... I spoke too soon. What the hell, Mattel? I spoke too soon. That decal is bad. Dog water, which, might be what we're going to dip him in. No, I'm just kidding. I did not take the dog bowl. I poured new water from the faucet. Don't worry. Wouldn't have been warm enough anyways. But yeah, so the decal on the hood on the color changer is probably a little clearer than the die-cast. But the one in the back here, no enchilada, not even close. They left out some of the yellow detailing around the wing, or the spoiler, I should say here. It's not on the sides. It's not on the back. He doesn't have the bolts painted silver that attach the spoiler into place. And again, that is a plastic vehicle. That is as to be expected. The playset version lacks some of those yellow detailings as well. Like pretty much the exact same details were missing on him. So not too surprised about that. The light bar is just a solid shade of yellow and silver there, whereas here it was a transparent shade of yellow, which gave it the actual light bar effect. This just looks like a splatted banana. On the base here, where is the date stamp? Do we have any fun date stamps? I think we do. So this is a Vietnamese-made car. We'll see if they move production to China like they're doing with the mainline for 2026. But this reads he was made on the 111th day at 2025, in 2025 at the SD factory, whatever SD stands for. Maybe that's some city, some abbreviation for a city in Vietnam. If I have any Vietnamese viewers out there, please chime in with your insight. Would love to hear it. Oh, I do want to just share with you guys, this is a unique version of McQueen. You obviously have your World Grand Prix model and GRC McQueen model for color changers. You have the exotic ones like Rumbler and Cave McQueen, and those are all fun and wonderful, nostalgic at this point. You have just your regular and your Cars 1 model. This is the Cars 3 Slimmer model, which is what the Race and Rescue version is using here. But my point being, they never did a Deputy McQueen color change or any Police McQueen. So having with the light bar here is kind of a step up. And I appreciate that because of what I said about the Cryptid Buster Lightning McQueen color changer. That really is a poor attempt, poor execution. All right, getting on to Sheriff here. You kind of go back to his typical expression, whereas the Race and Rescue version attempted something a little bit newer. Probably not great when the plastic color change version has a shiny silver grille and bumper there, and the diecast has this dull plastic gray looking one. That's not great. It's not a good look, but yeah, see if we could just combine the two. We'd be in such great shape. You do have the rescue text there. That looks fine. This logo looks pretty good, but you can see how it's just like a sticker applied. You could see the excess transparent sheet around it, which is really ugly, but I understand why it's got to be that way, although that's kind of a new development. None of the 2010 color changers had it that blatant. Wow. They found a new font for the Race and Rescue. I mean, it's a similar font, but it's taller, so it's stretched out. I think it looks better. I'm going to be honest. I think that looks better, but crazy that they have it in different text there. There's also a much larger gap between the trunk and these little patterns, which honestly I think looks better. Honestly, I think it looks better because you can see it follows the outline of the trunk there and then makes it look a little bit more intentional that these are just a couple side patches, whereas here it almost looks like they missed these little stripes, these little hairline fractures within the white. So I don't know, the color changer's doing some good things. They don't paint the sirens here red. The window doesn't look as good, but again, you got the chrome bumper here. Don't have the trunk handle painted. Let's see when this guy was made. 113th day, so 2 days after Lightning McQueen. All right, moving on from him. We don't want to spend too much time on all these guys. Well, I guess I did forget to show you. This is the original 2010 blue to black color changer. You could see the date stamp's almost faded. That's how old he is. And guys, it's not like I crash and bash my color changers. They just don't hold up. Some of them more than others. Like even my Cryptid Buster McQueen here, you could see how there are so many chips on it. Like it's actually absurd. I mean, I just put these in my display box, like, and that's it. Never to be touched again until the next review. And yet they pop out of the review box looking all battered. I don't understand. I really don't. Maybe, you know, it's something like when I'm dipping him in the water, he hits the ice cubes, but it doesn't crack or it doesn't chip there. It just weakens the paint. And then over time, that paint like peels off or something. I don't know, guys, because I put them into the display box. They're fine. And they come out and they're a little damaged. Anyways, here is the red to black Sheriff. You could even see the red bleeding through in places. This was a rather new version of Sheriff that came out over the last couple years, but this was the newest version. Yeah, I know I told you there were a lot. This was the light blue one. I think this accompanied Royce Revsley, and honestly, him and the Royce Revsley color changer were very short-lived. Some of the rare color changers over the last few years in memory that have not come back yet. And that is saying something because they don't delineate by year. So like color changers released several years ago, like Paul Conrev, can come back today in 2025, right? So there's no barriers between the years like there is with the mainline. All right, anyways, I know I'm taking a long time on this. Sorry, guys. Oh, man, this guy's towing apparatus is way misaligned. Oh, well, whatever. Where are you, Mater? I need you. There you are. All right. So his eyes are more spread apart, a little higher, a little creepier, a little scarier. We're going to look past that for now, though. Race and Rescue logo. You got some nice bendy side view mirrors. You got your Race and Rescue logo looking very, very grainy. Rescue stripes, yellow wheels. Missing the blue trim around the fenders there. That's fine. Missing the red hook there. I do like how bendy and flappy that is, though. That sounded wrong. All right, A113 license plate's a little smaller. Yeah, I mean, just typical differences you would expect when you go from die-cast metal. You can see the light bar here to plastic. And yes, I know, these are actually more expensive than the 155 scale die-cast, but that's because when I dip him in the water, he's going to change his color. And that's cool, right? All right, actually, I always keep forgetting to show you guys a couple other color changers. Yeah, oh my God. Poor guy. It looks like he's got some sort of disease. It's no fun here for President Mater, my guy. Another kind of obscure color changer at this point in time. Yeah, I mean, those are, I think, chips. I don't know. Maybe they're not. Let's see here. Oh, good. Goody. I just cured him. No more disease on President Mater. Wow, I feel so great. Enough playing around, though. I'm getting carried away. Here is a brand new Mater color changer. This is, I think, a 2010. Yeah, this is an oldie. This is one of the original ones, so very cool that he's still looking in good shape. Pretty much unscathed. Here is a newer one that they've done. This one is just amidst kind of a mixing of colors. Let's see what. Oh, wow, that's pretty cool. This guy still works really well. That's a very bright green. This one you still might find on the pegs, I think. This is the newest Mater they've done. It's a really nice shade of green, actually. All right, moving on to what everyone came here to see. At least most people probably, and that is red. Let me clean up your chin there. Oh, that's just going to be there forever. Cool. Friendly looking red. Looks great. All right. Here is the die-cast Race and Rescue red. Honestly, they look very similar in size. They might be the exact same size. Doing some intense analysis right now, some intense calculations in my brain, and yeah, I'm gonna come to the conclusion they're effectively the same size. This one sinks down into the mat, the towel a little bit more because he's heavier. It makes him look shorter, but I think they're about the same height. So yeah, different expression, which is cool. I like that. That's actually one of the most different expressions we've gotten out of all these because he's got the closed mouth, the eyes are different. So I appreciate that. Take a look at his decals here real quick. That one's not too blurry. I love this yellow though. It's kind of a spoiler though, because I now already know what the yellow looks like, and you know the red is not the reason I buy him. I buy him so he could change to a new color, and we're already looking at that new color. So yeah, I feel like the climax is already over. But yeah, I don't have any other color changers to show you because he was never released as one before. And you can see how much bigger the deluxe version is, and you can see how the 2006 version is a little bit smaller. Nothing too crazy, but yeah, 3 sizes for red. All right, let's dive in. Literally, let's dive in. Okay, he's already the hot color being yellow, so we don't need to put him in there again. Let's see how he changes to red. This will be pretty cool. All right. Not bad. That's a pretty bright shade of red. Looks like I missed a spot there. There's a lot of surface area on him that changes, so you got to really make sure he's in there submerged fully and kind of get all of his angles so that you don't have any of those spots that remain yellow. Yeah, I mean, this might be one of the best color changers ever. I did a color changers tier list video back in the day. Red might be an S tier color changer, or at least an A tier. I love how he looks when he's yellow, and honestly, when he's red, he looks really cool too. It's not a dull shade of red like we were thinking about or talking about there with McQueen. I'm a big fan of him. Let's do that, and let's do a little half. You know what would be cool actually, and this might be a little difficult to achieve. You know what? Actually, let's do this. Let's do this. This will look really cool, guys. Trust me. Seems like my cold water. Oh, guys, this is amazing. Look at that. Yellow in the front cab portion, red in the back. Now that is screenshot worthy right there. What a beauty. What a beast. If you told me you're going to have to endure kind of a below average Expand Universe line, but you're going to get red as a color changer, I'd be like still upset, but like I'd be able to stomach it a lot more because this color changer red is pretty cool and I'm having a good time with it. All right, it's Meijer time here. And yeah, his red is not nearly as bright. He is going from, I mean, his color is pretty bright too. It's a very bright shade of blue. So you'd think they'd be able to get a little bit of a better shade of red going. I mean, him and McQueen are about the same. Wow, McQueen does look really good in this navy dark blue, though. Wow, guys. Having a good time with these color changers today. It's been a while since I reviewed any more than just one at a time, so that definitely helps so that someone can pick up the other one if the other one's lacking. That blue looks really nice, really pure. I feel like it's a little bit brighter in person that's coming across on the camera as well. Yeah, my hands must be cold. No, my hands must be warm. They're turning them back to red. Sorry, McQueen. Really nice. All right, let's see what we could do here with Meijer. Let's see. At least this is a good thing. Like the colors that the new colors for all these are the best ones. Like I would not display Meijer in the red. I would not display McQueen in his red. I would not display red in his red. All the colors they transition to are the ones that look the best, right? The reds on McQueen and Meijer are a little dull, but the teal looks great. The dark blue looks great. The yellow looks fantastic. So I am pretty happy with these. I think they're all above average color changers. We'll see here with Mr. Sheriff. Okay. Hard to mess up black. Yeah, I mean, it really is. You could mistake him for the diecast, except for the expression. Yeah, definitely my least favorite of the bunch. The tan doesn't really move the needle for me, and then just the black is whatever. It's just normal. See if we can get a cool looking half and half for Sheriff here to make him like full on video game mode. Yeah, that's not bad. This is a really cool squad of color changers. I wish they were all in the same case. I think that would make it more of an event. Everyone rushes out to get the new wave. You get red again for the first time. Let me know in the comment section below which of these color changers is your favorite. I apologize for the longer video, but as you know, there's a lot to discuss with these. When you get 4 new color changers, there is a lot to go over and talk about. I will see you guys soon for another video. Let me know your favorite. Mine, obviously, red. I think a lot of us will agree on that. Bye now.